Hello. So I'm Ian, and I'm just going to try and quickly summarize some of the stuff that I've learned um, over the last 5 years about working out and fitness in general. So this is a quote from one of my favorite YouTubers. Fitness is a journey, and we all start from somewhere. There are some very strong people now who once couldn't do a pull-up. I really like that because it's very intimidating to see all these super jacked fitness people. Making YouTube videos and saying, "Oh, just do this. Is that easy?" It is not that easy for if you're starting off for a lot of people, right? So just keep in mind that everybody starts from somewhere, and if you can't do something right now, that's totally okay, and hopefully you'll be able to do it later. So I'm going to have this whole slideshow in the description so that you can click on the links that I'll have, as well as I will have a workout guide in the description as well, with some sample routines that you can follow that I will be updating however often I feel like there is something to update. So there's some top YouTubers that I watch. Austin Dunham, he does calisthenics and bodyweight stuff. He's very advanced, but he does do some nice home workout routines that I like to follow. I follow him for most of my home workout routines that are just calisthenics. Greg Doucette, he does weightlifting but I mainly watch his nutrition videos. He does a lot of videos also that are called Natty or Knots. So basically he just talks about like a celebrity or something like that who is fit and gives his 2 cents on whether or not they're taking supplements or not. But I typically just watch his nutrition videos, some of his recipes for high protein, low calorie foods. And then Athletic is, if you talk to anybody who watches YouTube videos, they probably have seen him. He's absolutely amazing. I recommend go to him for basically everything. He helps advanced and basic. He helps the middle. He works out if you have a gym and you have access to equipment, or if you calisthenics, he's great for everything. Some of the apps that I use. So I use MyFitnessPal and Strong. MyFitnessPal is absolutely amazing. It's godsend. It's the best thing I could recommend if you're trying to lose weight. It's a calorie counter. You can just scan barcodes. You put in your weight, you put in your age, you put in how long you want to get to your target weight as well as your target weight, and it'll calculate everything for you. All you need to do is just track your food. So you do that, and I can basically guarantee you will see progress if you're true to yourself with how much you're having and you put in all the things properly and everything. It's absolutely amazing. That's what helped me lose so much weight. For working out, you need to pay for it to tell you how much calories you burn, but working out like weightlifting barely burns anything. An hour of straight benching, things like that, is basically like 100 calories you're burning, 200 maybe. Whereas if you just are walking for that time, you're burning like 300 or more, right? So it's not great for burning calories, but it's definitely helpful for the rest of the stuff. And then I use Strong. It's a workout partner. It does not give you workouts to do. All it does is track what you already do. But I really, really like it because, especially with no gym, it helps me keep track of what I'm doing. So if I do 10 push-ups one day in my routine, I know that I don't want to do less than 10 push-ups the next day. I either want to do 10 or 11, right? So it tells you how much you did, how many sets, how many reps, and it can be extremely helpful to guide, as well as it has a timer that you can set in between sets, so it's very easy. Equipment you can use. 100%, I think I can circle this here. Yeah, this is what I would recommend, the pull-up bar. Any pull-up bar works. If these ones are really nice because they fit on most door frames and they're fairly cheap. Calisthenics is a absolutely wonderful way to work out, but if you don't have anything like a pull-up bar, it can be very hard to work out your back and your biceps. Your chest and your triceps would be fine because there's push-ups, there's dips, there's a lot of things for it, but you need something like a pull-up bar to work out your back and biceps. It's absolutely amazing, and I would recommend everybody gets one if you're serious about working out and fitness and things like that. Some other good ones, the gymnastic rings in the bottom right. Those are very good for working out multiple parts of your body. Some people say that it's way better than a pull-up bar, as long as you have somewhere to hang them. But they can be a little bit more expensive, so I would again recommend the pull-up bar. And of course, if you can get weights, a bar, and a bench, you can do things like bench presses. If you just have the bar and weights, you can do things like deadlifts and bent over rows. So all of these pieces of equipment are extremely, extremely valuable. But also extremely expensive, except for the pull-up bar, which is not as expensive as the others. Things I've learned. So this is just a brief summary of some of the things that I wanted to note from a lot, like years and years of YouTube videos and researching and things. So number one thing to lose weight, calorie deficit. I used to think it was low sugar. I used to think it was all these different things, but calorie deficit is the main thing, I believe, to lose weight. That's what I based my whole losing weight off of. I had many days where I ate pizza, and I'm pretty big. I eat a lot of pizza, but just in those days, I would eat a lot less food, basically, or I would eat less food during the week. Again, it's not healthy. It's not extremely healthy to just do it off of that, but that's what I've done in order to lose weight, because I can't give up things like pizza. It's not worth it to me. So things like sugar and things like pizza, you can definitely have that and still lose weight. It doesn't mean that your heart will be healthy. It doesn't mean anything like that. But if your goal is to purely lose weight, it's possible. Time under tension, above 30 seconds. This is the most optimal time to build strength. 45 seconds is sort of the ideal. Don't go over 45, but it can be very hard to do. So as opposed to doing 10 push-ups in 10 seconds and rushing them out and then breaking, try and do it in 30 seconds. This just helps you build muscle, and it's just sort of better overall building strength. So I would really recommend that you do that. So go 2 seconds down, 1 second up, things like that. You can see a lot of people doing that, YouTubers doing things like that and telling you to do that. So I recommend you listen to those. Abs every day. Most people, or a lot of people I know, have one day where they do abs a week, and they train it like they do with their biceps, like their triceps, like their back, like their chest, or legs. But it's really not like that. You should only work out for about 5 to 10 minutes of abs every day. If you work out more than that, you're not going to be getting the full use out of it. You're not going to be as efficient. So because it's only 5 to 10 minutes, you should do it just every single day after you work out, or when you wake up, or before you go to bed, something that builds in a routine so that you can consistently do it. 3 weeks builds a routine. So when you're starting off working out and you're starting off your fitness and you're starting off your diet, whatever you're doing, a lot of things aren't sustainable. So if my diet is me eating nothing for a week and a half, I'm gonna relapse. I'm gonna say, you know what, this isn't worth it. I don't like this. I'm not seeing my results, and I'm gonna go back to eating normally. If I cut out things like pizza, if I cut out things that I personally really, really like, if I cut out all the things that I enjoy in my life, I won't stick to that diet, right? So you need to do something that's manageable, something that you can find yourself, you can feel like you can do for the next 10 years, right? Every single day for the next 10 years. I want pizza in the next 10 years, right? So I'm not going to be having that strict of a diet. I'm okay if I have a little bit of fat still. That's okay with me, because pizza is worth it, right? So, but 3 weeks, if you don't go to 3 weeks, you will fail a lot higher of the percent of the time. So same with the calorie counting app. If you're trying to do that, just try and do it for the first 3 weeks. If after the 3 weeks you'd still really, really hate it and you're not seeing any results, sure. But 3 weeks is a good time where your body will, if you don't do it, your body will say, wait a second, why am I not doing this, right? Compound movements and isolated movements, you should rest for different times. So things like push-ups, bench press, pull-ups, deadlifts, these are all compound movements. They use different muscles at the same time. So you should rest for a longer period of time. Just helps you build strength, helps you build muscle. Push-ups lift approximately 70% of your body weight. It's just a quick Google search to find out, but I thought I'd put it on here. If you're going to the gym and you're bench pressing and you're coming home and you're doing push-ups and you're saying, I don't know how much this is, you're doing approximately 70%, but you can adjust it depending on if you raise your legs or if you raise your feet, as you see in this little diagram at the bottom here. Calisthenics they make you very athletic, because they sort of help you with your heart and they help you with all these sort of things that sort of are more natural than going to a gym and lifting a bar, because it's what your body was designed to do, right? So if you're doing a push-up, that's designed to get you off the ground. If you're doing a bench press, no realistic time, if you weigh 200 pounds, are you going to be bench pressing like 250 pounds? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. naturally. And the calisthenics also has the extra bonus of having compound movements. So you are working out other things than just one thing at a time. For example, when I'm doing my chin-ups, I tend to raise my legs a little bit and that engages my core. Or if I keep my entire lower body straight and narrow and I'm squeezing my glutes and squeezing my quads and my core, that's sort of a bit of a workout there. And other things like that, where it's sort of just, it works at your full body if you're doing things properly and if you're doing things a little bit excessively, maybe sometimes too. A mind muscle connection is extremely important in working out, I find. When I do my chin-ups, and I am just thinking about how much it hurts, my form is falling a little bit. If I focus on my biceps and I focus on bringing them in, and I focus on extending, bringing them in, as well as if I focus on my lats, and if I focus on different parts, and if I try and flex those parts or engage those parts a little bit more, then I can find that I get a lot better progress, and I get a lot more strength, and I get a lot more muscle building from that. Two things that go hand in hand, working on the basics and having perfect form. So if you can do 20 pull-ups where you're swinging your whole body on every rep to try and get your chin over that bar, you're not doing them properly, and I would bet that you cannot do 10 normal perfect form pull-ups. So it's very important that you work on your form and you're doing your form perfectly for everything. Cheating in exercises does have its times, it does have its merits. And it can be beneficial, but 99% of the time, it's better to have perfect form, work on the basics, make sure you can do 10 pull-ups before you try and do all these weighted pull-ups and all these different things like that, right? Don't do sit-ups. This is a recent sort of finding. 20 years ago, sit-ups were the thing that you do because you can do it anywhere and it's very easy. But people are finding out it's bad for your back. It just is. So there are better exercises to do. If you want them, let me know. You can message me on Instagram or whatever. Better exercises for your abs. Warm-up sets first and then stretch after. So I used to think you stretch first and then you just work out and then you're done. But if you stretch first, it's actually proven that you cannot lift as much weight. I'm not sure why, just how the muscles work. So it's good to, instead of stretching first, stretch afterwards and do warm-up sets first. So if I'm benching 165 pounds and I'm trying to do that for 4 sets or whatever, the first set I do will be 85 pounds, and I'll do maybe 5 to 10 more reps than I normally do. This is just to get the muscles moving and used to it, as opposed to, for example, if I'm sleeping 8 hours, wake up and start bench pressing, my muscles are not ready for that extreme pressure when I just woke up. Another tip, and then stretch afterwards is just good because you don't have to worry about not being able to lift as much weight, but you get the good stretch so you don't feel the soreness. Retractor scapula is a really good tip. I'm not 100% sure I spelled that right, but it doesn't really matter. Basically, move your shoulder blades in and tighten your posture. This helps a lot for a lot of exercises, a lot more than you, I say a lot, more than you expect. So retracting your scapula for things like bench press, for things like pec flies, and even pull-ups can help a lot. It just puts the pressure on the right things. So if I'm not retracting my scapula and I'm doing chest exercises, it can sometimes use a little bit too much of my shoulders. It just messes up my form in general. It doesn't work on my chest as much, and it can sometimes potentially cause harm. So just an important thing to do is retract your scapula whenever you feel like it's necessary. This is just a very quick template for the next couple slides that I'm going to be having here, because I'm going to go them very quickly, because if you want them, you can see them on the Excel sheet that's in the description, and they have links. So I can't tell you about the links, you just have to click on them. So beginner, this is somebody who never works out, who doesn't really have an active lifestyle. They sit at their desk most of the time, things like that. Start learning the basics. So the main exercises you're going to want to do are push-ups, squats, and pull-ups. That basically hits every muscle group in your body. Pull-ups, I expect you not to be able to do for a while. That's totally okay. Most people cannot do pull-ups. Hybrid calisthenics, they just seem like an absolutely great person. They're very optimistic. They're very nice. They're very charming. They're just seemed like a great person and a great YouTuber. Redefining Strength. I don't watch too many of her videos, but she also has some very good tips for starting off and other videos as well. So this link near the bottom here will be the same link as in the description. It is a sample routine that I will be updating as I go. I'm currently making routines for my family, so as they give me feedback on the beginner and basically fit sort of levels, I can sort of update those to what better suits you. So the main thing for beginner is focus on the basic movements and proper form. Generally fit, this is somebody who maybe goes for some runs, somebody who maybe doesn't work out, but they've always been able to do a decent amount of push-ups. Should be able to perform normal push-ups, squats, and potentially pull-ups. I said pull-ups twice, my bad. So yeah, I should be able to do these things a decent amount of times to the normal level. Whereas in beginner, you can't do normal push-ups. You can do maybe like 3, and you can't really make a workout out of them. Whereas generally fit, you should be able to. Here, a good thing to remember is to rest between sets. And Athlean-X, once again, I cannot recommend him enough. He is absolutely amazing. He has a little muscle marker that he draws on himself to show you exactly what you're working at with different exercises. That's, as you can see, he has 11.1 million subscribers. He is one of the biggest fitness YouTubers in the game. I highly recommend following him. And then Austin Dedham as well has some really good workouts that I used to do when I was in the Generally Fit. I still kind of am. I'm kind of in between that and lift weights. This is basically somebody who goes to the gym decent amount, who maybe watches YouTube videos of their own. There's not much I can tell you here because you most likely know everything that I'm telling you better than I do. But your routine should include some hard push-up variations, such as clapping push-ups, explosive push-ups, wide push-up holds, things like that. You should have some squats, ideally with weight, but at home it's hard to do, I understand. And pull-up variations potentially, things like archer pull-ups, things like that, that just sort of challenge you a little bit more because you're a little bit more advanced. Greg Doucette is the one that I added on here. He's a professional bodybuilder and holds the chest press world record when he was like 25. I forget what specifications though. He's very good. Again, I would just mainly go towards his workout and his nutritional videos though. Personally, I don't really care as much about his Natty or Not videos. And this is what I do with my home bench. I am lucky enough to have a bench press and bar and dumbbells, a little bit of them. Yeah, so I can do a decent amount of my routine at home. So this is just if you're curious about what I do.